Welcome. Today I want to talk about where my 11th grader is towards the end of this 2023-2024 school year, share some curriculum, share some changes that we have made over the school year. Welcome to Learning with Boys. My name is Rachel. We are a homeschool family and we have 4 boys. We have graduated 2. This school year I have a 6th grader and an 11th grader, and I'm going to be sharing about my 11th grader. I have done several videos throughout the school year updating you, and I do have a 11th grade curriculum picks, but we have made some changes. I've had a lot of new subscribers and I just want you to know the changes we made and why. I am going to start with his language arts, but I'm going to go ahead and start with the book. We are reading this together with my 6th grader. We are discussing it. We are almost done. Like just a few more chapters left of the Pilgrim's Progress. And I've talked a lot about this in different videos. This is a great all-in-one, and that's what it says, an all-in-one curriculum, lots of questions and answers. We have mostly been doing it all orally. So I love that it has scripture in here. It has explanations of different situations or a character that maybe be talked about. So I am so glad. I truly almost wish that I would have went through this a couple years ago with them. So I feel like definitely like middle school or early high school would be great, but it's never too late, right? So this has been real good. Also going to mention this one book he is doing for a devotional. For his Bible, he has his own personal Bible time, and he's also taking some dual credit. So he took Old Testament last semester and he's taken New Testament this semester online. But this is something that's scheduled in with his homeschool curriculum, and I'll show you the book for that. But it is books by Bob Schultz, and this one is created for work, and he really enjoys these books. I am actually going to share a couple other ones with you just because they're more of the upper middle school, high school books, and they are all by Bob Schultz. You have Everyday Battles, and this is Knowing God Through Our Daily Conflicts, and then also Practical Happiness, A Young Man's Guide to Contented Life. So these are really good books, and my 6th grader now is reading one that I have mentioned in his 6th grade update video. So, all right. Also, he is doing Fix It. Now, he is not nearly as far as I was hoping he would be with Fix It, but he is doing book 6. He is going to be taking a dual credit English grammar class in the fall. Just wanted to work on him keeping up with his concepts. He's pretty good at grammar, but I'm trying to decide if I want to make him, even if he has to go into the summer, to finish this book. I'm just not sure yet. And I'm really not even sure if I'm going to do a final video because he probably has a good 5 to 6 more weeks before he is done. But I want to say I'll let you know, and I probably will. I'll probably, even if I don't do one, I'll mention it in another video, something about my high schooler, because that's what I'm doing. I'm doing homeschool videos, past and present. So if homeschool subject matter interests you, I would love for you to subscribe and join us. He is doing the IEW. This is level C, year 1. Now, he is spreading this over 2 years. So he started it last school year and he is working on it this school year. He is, and I did mention, I think it may have been in my last video or the one before that. I'll list this school year's videos for my 11th grader down below. But I was going to skip a few lessons because I wanted him to get to more of the reports, the 5-paragraph essays. And that is where he is at. Now, let me also tell you, I want to mention as a homeschooler that you can combine classes. He is doing a lot of writing. He actually has to do a writing each week for his online class, which is like 200 to 300 word essay for a specific subject. So I feel like he is getting a lot of experience from things that he has learned in this. So I do want to share that with you. But he is still watching videos and working through that because I have a goal of certain things that I do want him to have accomplished. So I am not one to push like every dot has to be dotted and every T has to be crossed in a particular curriculum. I let the curriculum work for us. I'm still the teacher. The curriculum is just our tool. So I do want to share that with you, that even through high school, that you have to find the balance of how much work they're doing and what else they're doing outside of that particular subject that can really be counted. So for math, he is doing geometry from Matthew C. I actually talked to him a little bit trying to discuss something. So he did mention math is going great. It's really easy. I got 100 on my test today. So he is doing well with this, and I'm very excited. He had a little struggle through some of algebra because we were using Matthew C and we switched back. So this has been great. I've used it with all my boys throughout our school years. Okay, before we get into some of our other subjects, I will mention one thing that we have to work on, and he is getting ready. It's hard when you're down to those final years and it flies by, but I know most kids will either take an ACT or an SAT. But this school year, we found out through our umbrella that we are required to be under in the state of Tennessee here, that he can take the CLT, which is a classical learning test. And I think it's geared more towards homeschools. Now, we have looked at it in a little bit, but it's been months since that. I have not even looked at a schedule. And I guess I feel like in my mind, I think my oldest took his ACT his senior year. Did he take it his senior year or the end of his junior year? So I keep thinking in my mind, oh, I have time. But I know that that time runs out quickly, and I need to work on that to where either he is taking it this summer at some point or the very beginning of his senior year. Just in case, I feel confident that he'll do fine on it, but I just feel like we will both be relieved once it's out of the way. So I do want to mention that. And he will be taking more dual credits next school year. I don't even know if he actually has any subjects. One thing that he will not have finished this school year is finance. And I've talked about that in videos because the curriculum we are using, I'll share a couple books with you, does use the Dave Ramsey. I have the Dave Ramsey. More than likely, I guess in my mind, I keep thinking I would like to do something else. I'm actually getting ready to go to a homeschool convention, and I thought maybe I'll just find some type of booklet or something there that would help him. I've looked at some other curriculum I've talked about before, but it might just be we just let him watch through the videos. He is working on another book, which is part of the curriculum that we are using. I'll show you the curriculum, which is Heart of Dakota, U.S. History 2. I have curriculum all the way from preschool to high school. It is like a box curriculum, but it has a Charlotte Mason feel with a Christian worldview. So he is doing the history, the economics, and the speech. I'm going to make sure there wasn't anything else, but I'll be showing you what that is. So and the finance is what we were going to plan on doing. He is reading this, but this is only once a week, which is Money Matters for Teens. He does have a job. He actually probably has enough. We need to start looking for a vehicle. So there's a lot of things, he's opened a bank account. There's a lot of things that we've talked about. So I'm trying to decide, do I want him to go through the videos, or do I want to really just get down and work with him and helping him understand finances as he prepares to be an adult. So, but let me go on and share some of the other curriculum with you from this book. Let me share the history with you. This has been such a good year. He did U.S. History 1 last school year with Heart of Dakota. His 9th grade year, he did the World Geography. I have videos on all that. I will link a high school playlist below. How about I do that? And this has been a really good year because you just see the growth each year in your child and their maturity and their understanding and just sort of taking what he's learned personally. And I think it's because the history is so close, like to our era, that it's more relatable. He's realizing what happened during, even the early 1900s into the 1960s, how it has affected our nation today and just the choices they made and why. So he is really taking that more personally and understanding it, and we're really having good conversations. So let me just share a couple books that are part of that. This is something he listened to book 1 last school year. This school year it's book 2. This is on Audible. It is a very thick book. These are really, really good books though. He is also really enjoying Mystery of History. I have mentioned in videos that we were doing this together, but he has taken it on his own, gotten ahead of me. I've been busy and I was like, okay, just go ahead and read it. And maybe I'm hoping to get back to read the rest of the book. So, and he is not my reader. So that's why one reason I went with this American history is that these books I could find on Audible. And I thought I would enjoy reading this book. You can also get this on recording, I think like through an app. But I didn't want to spend the money. And then we started reading it together and we really enjoyed it. But I am glad he has started being interested enough to really want to read and study and understand what's going on. But let me show you one other thing that I think is very helpful, and that is DVDs. Now, these are the American testimonies. I don't know if they have them streaming. I know a lot of people tell me, but Rachel, we don't have DVD players. We stream everything. These are from, I feel like maybe they have. I'm going to see what I can find and link it below. But these are from, it's just history and the number 2u.com. They have other ones, like one specific for World War II and Vietnam. But this is the American Testimony set 2. He did 1 last school year. And this really just goes so well with the Mystery of History and just how they have it scheduled out in the Heart of Dakota guide for U.S. History 2. It's just all coming together really well. It's been a great year and he has learned so much. Now, in that guide, they also have economics. I'm going to mention what we decided to let go. And that is something they had in the Heart of Dakota guide, and neither of us cared for it. And it was the Intro to Economics with this MoneyWise DVD. I did a whole video on it. I'll link it below, but I just really felt like this was more of a motivational speech of how to make money almost in the church. It was really different. Neither of us really enjoyed it at all. So we set this aside and we went to economics for everybody from Compass Classroom. I already had this because my 2 older boys did this. This is a DVD. They have a small book, but there are books that he is reading to go along with the economics with Heart of Dakota. So we dropped that DVD and picked this one up, which even after the first couple, we were both like, okay, yes, this is what we need to be learning. This is great for economics. So I did want to share that with you. Let me share the books that he has been reading for economics, or at least we'll be finishing up the school year. Okay, let me show you these books, and then I'm going to show you his speech and get down to the science. All right, he is about finished with The Myth of the Robber Baron. Now, I will tell you, this is all scheduled in that Heart of Dakota guide I showed you, but there are projects that she mentions about doing. He is not doing any of that. We are reading this book together and having some discussions because this is definitely something that is more talking about examples in history of different businesses and that type of thing. And I think you could go in depth if you have an entrepreneur child that would like to maybe work on the projects and do those. But since he's doing these, which really is almost a curriculum on its own, they do have you read books with this, that I just feel like him reading, I'm trying to think, he read a couple books already, or at least one other book, and then he also is going to be reading this book. He's just going to be starting on this, The Money Mystery from Uncle Eric. But this has been really good. We do this one together. He'll probably read this one on his own because he enjoys the Uncle Eric books. So, all right, so that's economics. Now for speech, he is doing The Secrets of Great Communicators. There is DVDs and a workbook. Now, I was discussing this with him, trying to see where he was at, because he's doing a lot of this independently, but I asked him what he thought about the DVDs. I thought they were great. I have watched several of them, but not all of them. And he said he's learning a lot, but some of it is somewhat of common sense. But because he has opportunities to speak, he helps. Sometimes he has taught a lesson for Sunday school in the teen department. Sometimes he helps with the children's ministry and has opportunities to speak there. And this is all at our church. And I think it's just at a different level than he's thinking about speaking. But from what I've heard on the DVDs, what he's learning could obviously help him in these areas because they talk about the different audiences and things like that. Now, he did say, Mom, I haven't moved on because I'm supposed to write a speech about creating a need. And he was discussing how they want him to, like, say you have a product that you're trying to sell and you have to prove to somebody that they need it. I think I'm going to let him skip by that. I told him, let's just move forward because I feel like that could be a little bit of a marketing subject matter, but it would be a persuasive speech at the same time. But like I said, we are a family that uses the curriculum as a tool, and I feel like he is learning a lot this school year. He did write a speech early on in the year that had to do, I think he combined it more with this English. Like I said, you can combine curriculum too in the high school years. So I'm going to see what else. I do want him definitely to finish this out by watching the videos and doing what he can in the workbook. But he has a lot of opportunity that he gets to speak in front of people. So I feel like what he is learning will definitely be helpful. Everything, I do have the science here. He is using the Survey of Astronomy. I've done a whole video on this. I'll link it below. From Master Books, they use all these books and DVDs. He is on the last book. He's almost done. He'll probably finish this first thing. Now, I want to talk about his scheduling because we are definitely scheduling differently. And I talked about that in one of my videos, and I keep meaning to share an update about that. So let me talk about that. But this has really been a great book, a great curriculum to build your faith on God and creation, and it shows both sides. But if you want to know more about this, I'll link that video below if you want to know about this curriculum. For the scheduling, what he will do, he'll do math every day, some grammar, and then one day he'll do just science. He'll do a week's worth of science, get all the reading in. There's question and answers in here. And then the next day he'll work on history and economics and get a week's worth done, like on Tuesday. That's what he'll do. And then on Wednesday, it'll be like his English and maybe catching up on his grammar. So it'll be his writing, his videos he may need to watch with that, any extra work he needs to do with that. And then Thursday, it'll be like speech and probably economics if he didn't get that done in earlier in the week, and anything extra. Now, he also has the dual credit class that he works on. So what it sort of falls in, what it did not get done will be left for that Thursday and Friday to finish. But the main subjects like science and history and English, and then of course he's doing math all week. He enjoys the math. He does that every day. Will fall, and anything else he doesn't get done will fall towards the end of the week. And that has been working really well. So he can read all his science in one day, and then he doesn't have to think about where he is at the rest of the week. That has been going well, and even for history, that is how he's been doing the history also. And still, he's learning a lot, and it's easy to come back to and figure that out. Now, let me tell you, for the history, he did History 1. He fulfilled his U.S. history credit last school year. So this school year, just making him read and watch the videos, and a lot of times we are discussing things. But I may just count it as a half a credit of some type of elective, is what I have told him. I need to look at exactly where he's at. I feel like he does not need a lot. He will be taking English next school year, but that will be a dual credit. And I really need to narrow down. I feel like I'm confident in saying I think he's about done, but I need to double check on that. Now, he does work, but he doesn't work the weekend or Wednesday. But the other days he's working a good 4 or 5 hours a day. So, and then he also does piano. He takes piano every week and has opportunities to serve. He has some ministries in our church that he helps with. So I do want to share all that with you. I think that is everything for my 11th grader. I feel like this video may be a little bit long, but I just wanted to give you an update as we are finishing this school year. It's been a good school year. I feel like I'm just seeing the growth, and so encouraged by that. I do appreciate you all watching. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you again soon.